I move for no man, no man, no man, no man, no.
We'll call it a draw.
No man.
Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh wound.
It's been the first time, but not in quite not
I
in a
kind of
while.
saw you from the corner of my eye. I'm like, there's no way, unless like he moved to like a predominant black gym and he had to
Every gym is predominantly
represent.
Black. Every box is predominantly black.
Really?
Yeah, white guys don't box.
Not the one in LA that we went, the Box and Burn one.
That's a fitness gym though. That's not a fight gym.
You think?
I know. That's no fighters out of that gym.
That's yeah. There's a lot of nice looking females over there.
Yeah, I just had to download Skype. That's why I was late. I got a new computer.
Yeah, your image looks crystal clear, man.
Is it? Just
Yeah.
camera.
Nice. So
Yeah.
Gary's not like the VIP anymore.
He's looking so sharp.
I mean the
Question real
MVP.
quick. Can you guys hear, like, is the sound quality decent enough, or do you hear the cars driving by in the background and shit?
You can hear him, but it's not bad.
Because if you think so, I could just go to my room. I was just thinking the internet connection would be better here. I'm like on my porch.
Yeah, I
can
can't really
hear nature.
Yeah,
can't
there's
really
like
hear it.
there's like crickets and shit.
Can you really hear crickets, Chris?
I mean, I
You
can't
can't hear
I
that?
don't know about you guys.
I can hear that.
I don't hear any fucking crickets.
I got that supersonic hearing.
Happy Valentine's, guys.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, boys.
What'd you do there, big guy? You had to change plans on us.
Yeah,
For the
must have
folks
had
at
some
home.
big plans, buddy.
I went to dinner, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
Did you do a little drinking, Frankie?
You know what? I was actually super hungover.
You were hungover from Saturday?
I had dinner plans and I couldn't make it. That's how bad it was. Like I'm like the worst person ever.
So that's
you
the
got
real
tuned
reason.
up Saturday night, the night before.
I got drunk on Saturday night, like very bad. Like I started drinking at 12 and went to sleep at 12.
Awesome.
So I
That's
went
the real
on a
reason that we
12-hour
did
bender.
this Yesterday.
You
And
had
I
a
was,
day.
and you know what? I did the whole hair of the dog thing, which I woke up very nauseous. And I was just gonna like not drink that day, but I felt so bad that I had to have like a couple of beers. Have you guys ever had that? Like
Yeah.
where you feel so bad that you're like, okay, I'm not drinking for a couple of days, but then you feel so bad that you have to have a drink.
I am
No.
a proponent of the hair of the dog for sure.
Because I'm not an alcoholic. But,
Yeah.
it's cool, though. Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. I mean,
A lot of times, like the way I look at it, like when I'm like miserably hungover, and I'm just like trying to get through the day, and I'm just like, ugh. I mean, I know it'll make me feel better. Just having another drink and just ride it into the next one.
I think that at that point, it's just time to move up to harder drugs. Just grow up and do fucking crack like an adult.
so when do you like go cold turkey? Or do
Like
you
no
not?
drinking.
Yeah. Do you like? Is there like a day, like maybe like Tuesday, like tomorrow, you stop and then you start again on Thursday? I don't know.
Oh no,
Is
I
there,
don't have a schedule at all.
You don't?
No. I'll have a drink if I want to have a drink. If I don't, I don't. And it's rare that I want to have a drink like every single day. But
What about you, Gary? Is there,
So
like-
my brain is super fucked when it comes to drugs and alcohol. Like, so I'm constantly, anytime I'm drinking or like smoking weed or any of these things, like, I have to really monitor myself. I mean, I don't have to, but my brain tells me I have to because I have so many people with drug and alcohol addictions in my family.
Okay.
So when it comes to drinking and things, like I think way more about it than like a normal person should. So if I have a few drinks, one night and then, maybe the friends are going out again the next night, I start thinking to myself like, oh man, 2 nights in a row, like maybe you
I
should
should've.
fucking not, so like I definitely think about things like that. I'm not going to say every single time I say no and I don't drink, but I definitely like I keep an eye on it and I I do set up like certain boundaries and standards for myself, you know, and maybe I'll allow myself some extra leeway if it's like Christmas or something, or like allow myself some extra leeway if like it's after a fight. But like during like a normal work week and shit, it's like, all right, well, like, man, you drank 3 days this week, like that's probably more than enough. You know what I mean? Like it's no good. No bueno.
See, Gary and I have the same type of brain when it comes to drinking, or the type of like scheduling, or we have to like kind of set boundaries.
Yeah, you have to monitor.
It's not that I feel like I'm gonna spiral out of control. I just like am afraid because so many people that around me have. Like I feel like I have everything under control, but even though I do, and I haven't had any problems, like I'm not fucking getting DUIs, I'm not getting blackout drunk, I'm not vomiting at my friends' houses, and none of these things are happening. And I don't feel like I like have to drink, like all of these things. My brain still tells me like, hey, be careful. Hey, you had 4. Is that enough? Like, do you really need to have more? Like, I don't know. It's just my brain's constantly running when it comes to those sorts of things.
Well, you're just so aware of it because of your experiences in your past. I mean, not in your past, but like the past of your people around you. That makes sense.
Yeah, man.
I was questioning myself today as well.
Yeah.
Like my brain started playing fucking tricks on me. Like,
yeah.
Dude,
like is it like you were asking yourself, is there a problem? Is there a problem?
Yeah.
Do I need help?
100%.
Yeah.
Like I started getting a headache today, and I had to take like an Advil. And today's Monday. I usually, since it's like it's not the weekend, why
should pull the listeners? Should we do an intervention for Frankie next week?
why are my headaches like rolling?
I've done one, man. I'm ready. I can do a second.
You could be the lead guy, whatever that person's called.
And I can do it.
You're the professional.
So first off, I'd like to start out with telling you, Frankie, how much me and Chris love and care about you. I just can't stress this enough that like we just really care about your well-being and your life and your future, and that's why we're all here today. It's just for you, and to talk about your feelings and what makes you tick. Yeah,
we're here for you, man. This is not an attack. It's all out of love.
You guys are confusing me. You guys are confusing me.
We're good at this.
Is this a drill, or is this real?
Is this the real one? We've been monitoring your drinking, Frank. Now's the time.
And all of a sudden, like my family starts popping on the screen.
No, I just wanted to say, like, sometimes I miss the old Frankie, like when we walked around where you guys made the coffee and everything, and we jumped into waterfalls together, man. Like back when you used to.
When it was so innocent.
Yeah, back when you used to just live life to the fullest, when alcohol didn't rule your life, and we just want that Frankie back.
Didn't dictate.
You're just different when you drink, Frank. You're just a different person.
You're not
it's like
yourself.
that old commercial with the dog for marijuana. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, the dog talks to the girl.
Hey, Kelly, you're not the same when you smoke.
Dude, those commercials were so lame.
So lame.
It's like they used to paint people that did weed like.
Oh yeah,
like super psychotic.
Well, even if you think of like old horror movies, like every Jason movie, like anyone who smoked weed, had premarital sex,
they have to die.
Shoplifted, anything so like whatever level of treachery had to die, like immediately. Dude, and in the worst way possible.
I used to love the nude scenes in those fucking films.
Those.
Oh yeah, baby.
Back in the day, nude scenes were good, man. Sex scenes, nude scenes, and like the 80s,
Dude,
90s.
80s movies fucking had it down, man.
Did you guys
good fucking content?
Did you guys ever see the Porky's?
I literally just read my mind. I was like, yo, Porky's was like that was J-Lo stuff when you're.
I didn't see it, but I'm gonna watch it after this for sure.
That is just straight up 80s tits out beach movies.
Is that a Duvel, Gary? What is that?
Yes.
That's a Duvel? Wow. Oh no, Golden Drop. That's a good one too.
Why'd you say yes? It's not a Duvel.
At first I thought it was because I bought both of them and they're in a very similar shaped bottle. So I thought it was a
I've
Duvel.
never heard of that one.
Cool.
It's very similar taste to Duvel.
Yeah. But that one I think that's a double, right?
Gary's drinking a 40 right now.
This is the dark red triple ale.
Triple. Oof. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Probably stronger.
Belgian beer. my favorite.
Very fancy.
Those are like heavy on the carbs, huh? Especially
Fuck
for
yeah.
athletes. Good for your training.
Yeah.
Carbon up.
So, Gary, are you like sad that you can't get Five Guys over there? That used to be like
I don't
your
think there
diet.
is a Five Guys here. Yeah, you're right. I don't think there is. That
What
is sad.
do you-
I did not think
what are you
Frank was
doing?
talking about burgers at first. It's like, wow. Gary's the 5. That's a lot of guys.
Yeah. So many.
So what's your diet been looking like over there?
Pretty good actually. Like I eat a lot healthier out here because I'm not really like going out to eat as much. I'm cooking everything. And I have a lot more time to do that, right? Like so before my life was like get up, train, like you got an hour to maybe like grab some lunch, then train again, then come home, then maybe you got a little bit of time to like eat a little something and then you got to go teach and like so now I just kind of like wake up, train, and then the rest of the day like I have time to do the things that I need to do. So I cook for myself in the morning because I'm getting plenty of sleep, and then I cook for myself like in the middle of the day and after we're done training, and then at night. So I make like a lot of churrasco and stuff, and
I love that.
I had churrasco and salmon tacos today that I made.
Whoa, surf and turf, dog.
Double meat.
Yeah, baby. Well, I didn't mix I had separated tacos.
Oh,
but,
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say doesn't that like kind of
I'm
like
sure it would have been
messes with
fine.
the
But
taste?
yeah, I did separate tacos. But yeah, and then I think we're cooking up some chicken right now. Made some asparagus with a little bit of balsamic, garlic, and whatnot.
Who's your roommate? I saw some dude in the back.
I got 2 roommates, Tony Bergamo and Yuting.
Ferragamo?
What's that?
I thought you said Ferragamo. I'm
No,
like, wow,
Bergamo.
that's a pretty cool name.
Bergamo, maybe is how you pronounce it. I don't know. He's Italian.
What wait, so this guy he's Italian and he moved from New York or
He didn't move like officially. Like he still teaches out there and shit sometimes. I think he's just kind of like during COVID when things are kind of like lulled out there. He's just spending some time out here and there. So I think he'll go back and forth. Yuting is a little bit more full time. He just goes back when I go back for a few days and then comes back here. So he comes back for like 3 or 4 days a month.
do they all cook?
Yeah, they're all capable of cooking. I do most of the cooking in the house though, I would say.
Okay. What
Which
are
is
you
cool. I like cooking actually. So because I cook, they do more cleaning. So I'm down for that. Like I'd way rather cook than clean. So
Yeah, hell yeah.
for sure. What are the gyms still closed back home?
some of them depends on where you're at. You know, some people are open illegally and shit. It's not just about that though. Like it's about the amount of people coming in too. Like I think he was saying that like one of the places that he goes to like it's very far and few between, like the people that are coming in and stuff. It's kind of slowing down. So, you know, it's like a good time for him to spend some time out here and shit. So we'll see what happens, you know, when things kind of get back to normal. I don't know if he's going to spend as much time out here or not, but.
Yeah, boxing gyms are still pretty tough. It's tough to get like consistent sparring. Like there's not like exactly like Garry said, you don't have guys coming in to work as much.
Gary, so do you think that most of your time back home was kind of teaching? Like you spent a lot of your day teaching? Is that like where all your time went?
It's a considerable amount of time. I mean,
and traveling too. I feel like you were always driving.
Yeah, I mean the driving plus, yeah, I mean the teaching was a decent amount of time. You know, I would go teach an hour class and then stay for the rolling and stuff. So and then I probably end up staying there for like 2.5 hours, but it's also a half hour away from where I lived, or 45 minutes, you know, something like that. So you know, it's just a lot of traveling.
New York,
that's fucking far, dude.
It's just a full day, you know. It was just it was nonstop. So now I have a little bit more time to like run errands and like do things for myself. Before I was like living off of gas station food and shit, just so I didn't have a lot of time to like get food.
How do you feel? How do you feel with your new like living situation?
I feel great, man. Like I feel like this is a good thing for me in terms of like I think that I was spreading myself a little too thin. Like I always like to have like a lot of responsibility, but I think what I started to realize is that like I start to stack the responsibility on top of responsibility, and then what happens is like those are all the things that I planned for, and then all of a sudden life will like fucking throw something that I didn't plan for that like wasn't in my control, and then it's like, oh shit, like we were already stacked to like the brim, and now that thing that was thrown at me, I can't handle it because I wasn't anticipating it, right? So it's almost like somebody who doesn't live within their means, right? Like, so like if you make a certain amount of money and like you're literally living paycheck to paycheck on purpose, like you're basically spending all of your money every month. Like, so when that one big event happens where, things get a little out of whack and like, something happens where you have to spend a bunch of money, I don't know, you total your car or something, and now all of a sudden you have no money, right? It's the same sort of thing with the way that I restructured my life. So I structured my life with like completely full. So that all of a sudden, some extra responsibility would get thrown out there and it's like, oh fuck, I can't handle any of this because, I'm already full. And now here's some stuff that I can't control on top of it. So, I like it a little bit more because now when things get thrown my way that I'm not anticipating, I can handle it a little bit better. Also, I'll say this, sorry to like not steal a crazy amount of time. I actually think that the gym is going better, based on the conversations that I have with Chris Seidbenow that's running my school now. I think the gym is actually running better now that I'm not there because it has somebody that's able to dedicate their full attention to it. Right. Okay. So like he teaches the bulk of the classes and he's like kind of like paying attention to the training and everything that's going on. And like me, it was hard to like really dedicate my full energy to just that because I have 1,000 other things going on. But for him, he's able to do that. Right. So for me to be like more of in a managerial position instead of like being hands-on all the time teaching and like being there and all those sorts of things, it almost makes things run a little bit better, than they did before, because now somebody can dedicate their full energy and time to it instead of having somebody that's juggling fucking 15 balls trying to do that,
What about the quality of training over there? How do you
in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
So far it's been so good. We're in a little bit of a lull now because some guys left and some guys are injured. But like we've been getting a decent crop of guys that are just kind of traveling in that do MMA and stuff. Like Canada is super fucked right now when it comes to COVID. Like, dude, they literally have concentration camps.
Yeah.
In Canada right now for like people that are traveling in and like whether I think if you don't get tested or if you test positive, you have to be like put in like a government controlled camp facility now. Wow. In fucking Canada. So it's like an insane process. And you have to pay when they put you in that camp, you have to pay like $2,000 or something to be put in the camp.
That's crazy.
So to be held in a place against your will, you have to pay money. Like it's like a whole insane process. Basically, they're trying to make it so that like unless you have exorbitant amounts of money and time, you can't travel back and forth to Canada. You know what I mean? That's what they're trying to create that sort of situation. So a lot of the guys from TriStar are just kind of coming down for like big long trips. They're like just like, all right, fuck it, like I'm just gonna fucking stay down here for like a month and get some training. Dude,
that's awesome. That's great work.
They were calling the police on them for a while. Like people were like, oh man, they're fucking like doing jiu-jitsu or MMA in here, and they were fucking trying to get them shut down. So Canada is like a whole different. I honestly feel like
some of the
energy. What's that?
At TriStar?
Yeah, by TriStar. I honestly think that some of the energy that Canada is throwing out there is very much in the spirit of we want to be different than the United States. Like we want to be able to say like, oh well, look, we did this, and we handled it. We took it more seriously than the United States did, and that's why I think they're doing a lot of the things that they're doing.
I wonder if their numbers, how different their numbers are.
Their numbers are way lower than ours, and like
there's way less people.
It's not only that, it's that who the fuck is going to Canada? Like, no, and it's I'm not like trying to throw shade at fucking Canada or anything like that, but like let's be honest, the U.S., specifically places like New York, are huge travel hubs that everybody is going into or out of, whether they want to or not. Like that's where fucking business has been done for years.
Especially this time of year, because no one's doing anything in Canada in the winter.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Exactly. Like so when COVID and everything hit, that was a period of time where nobody's fucking traveling to Canada, because why the fuck would they? It's freezing over there.
But even Canadians, they don't do anything in the winter here. It's not like they're going to be like out and congregating.
So like, yeah, man. I mean, I think people don't when you just look at numbers on paper, and you're not factoring in like the differences between these other countries. Like everybody loves to throw fucking Australia and New Zealand in there in the conversation when it comes to COVID. Guys, they're isolated fucking islands in the middle of fucking nowhere.
With a tiny population.
These places, they're in complete isolation. Like it, and their strategy was, oh yeah, nobody comes in, nobody comes out for fucking year. Like, oh, okay, great. Yeah, let's see what that does to the fucking economy when we just go, yeah, nobody in, nobody out for fucking 2 years. Yeah, that's gonna go great, fucking with world commerce. Like, you know, people think in an interesting way.
That's a good.
Let me put it that way.
I saw that Dana White said that he was building a PI over there.
Where?
In Puerto Rico. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know
sick.
what. Yeah, but that's probably gonna be interesting for you to. I mean, I'm sure that you're gonna be able to go train over that.
Why are they doing that?
I think that he sees like potential over there. I think that he builds these PIs to like build talent up.
Do they have them other places other than Vegas?
Yeah, I got one in Asia.
In Asia, yeah.
Really?
And then so I heard that he was building one in Mexico and one in Puerto Rico.
All right, there's got to be something else to this. I don't know who needs to look into it. Frankie, I'm going to let you be our detective on this one. I don't know if there's got to be something more to it, dude. All right, let's think about it for a second. The first PI was in Vegas. That makes perfect sense.
The fight
That's
capital.
where they have the majority of the fights. You're telling me the other PIs are in fucking Asia and in Mexico?
Well, I think that in Asia it made sense because he's trying to develop that market. Yeah, because it's a big market. But I don't know. Puerto Rico doesn't make sense to me.
I don't think. Well, all I'm saying is what you gave me as the reason, which is like, oh, I think maybe there's talent there or whatever. That can't be the reason.
No.
It has to be a business decision, and I don't know what business there is to be done. But
PIs don't make money, so it's not like a working business. Although I do believe the one in China is pretty busy, but Vegas is not. It's just the fighters go.
It's their office. It's like their home base.
You don't just go, hey, we're gonna build a fucking thing. We're gonna spend millions of dollars for no fucking reason. There has to be a reason to put it there.
Yeah,
definitely millions.
Like why not put one in New York? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand. Like that's
nobody's putting anything in New York now.
Well, sure. Now I agree with you, but I'm just saying, like,
I think you guys are really smart in this move. You guys are definitely ahead of the curve. There's going to be, I think, a lot of people.
Gary, maybe Dana White saw what you guys did and he's following your tracks.
He's trying to get us.
Maybe you're the mastermind here.
Yeah. I'm pretending to not know what's going on.
Dana hit me up. He's like, "What's up with Garry? Is he really doing this Puerto Rico thing?" And I was like, "You know, D," because I call him D. I'm like, between you and I think
he's going for it.
Because
dude, how's you call him D?
Love that.
Big D.
How does John Danaher do over there? Is he like happy? How's he doing?
Honestly, I was a little worried at first, but I mean, he seems pretty chipper these days. Like he's having a pretty good month. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, things are tough to get done out here, and he gets frustrated by that sometimes, like just the inefficiency of the way that the world works. I mean, he's used to being in literally like the hub for everything in fucking New York City for multiple decades, and now all of a sudden you move to a country which
it's totally different.
It's completely different in terms of like the level of efficiency and how fast things get done and stuff like that. Like, dude, like he's having trouble like getting mail. Like it's insane. And they're like, and he lives in like a really nice apartment complex, and they're like, yeah, we just don't have that ability to get mail right now. And then like he went to the post office, he got like some knives delivered, and they were like, yeah, we just don't know where they are. I know you have the tracking numbers and everything. They're somewhere.
You probably lost them. Sorry, dude.
No, like somebody stole them. Like is what probably happened. But like,
yeah. But
it's just he's dealing with stuff like that. But I will say that overall, in terms of his mood and everything like that, like he seems pretty good. So, I mean, that's cool.
Is Puerto Rico one of those places where like the almighty dollar can make everything kind of work?
So it's interesting, man. You would think that's kind of the way that it goes down. But honestly, there are certain situations that I get involved in here, and it makes you wonder. It's like, do they even give a shit about money? Like sometimes
people are just slow. Everything's just slow.
Yeah, sometimes like no matter how much money you could offer to a person, they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know? So it's interesting. I mean, yes, I definitely think that, I definitely think that money holds a lot of power here, but at the same time, like, it's not, there's still some like red tape and shit that you got to get through that it seems like money just doesn't.
It's still the U.S. But you know how some countries are literally, it's like you pull out some money and like everything goes. Like you can do whatever the hell you want.
There's places
in Asia. It's like,
there's places in Asia that I've been that's exactly how it goes down.
Yeah.
Like Thailand, like that's exactly how it goes down. Like I got extorted for fucking money there, or what I was about to, and then Jeff Chu ran from the cops. But yeah. Did I ever tell you guys that story on the podcast or no?
He left you alone?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. So it's a pretty good story. So we were in Thailand. This is my first fight ever.
Is it because he looks from the country?
No, you'll understand in a second. So maybe it was blatant racism. So
of course, because tourists get away with things. They're like, this guy is from this place.
So we go. We're hanging out in in Bangkok. Like that's where the fight was. But then I was like, okay, like, hey, after my fights, like, because I'm traveling all the way to fucking Asia. It's like, hey, like, why not take a few days after the fight to like go chill and do something in the country? So we go to Pattaya for the 3 days. Okay. So Pattaya is like a very like beachy, like, touristy kind of fucking spot in Thailand, right? It's like 3 hours away from Bangkok. So we get into like a little car or bus or whatever the fuck it is that we did, and we go down there. Dude, I'm telling you, within 30 minutes.
Was it like one of those buses that were full of people, or was it like a nicer bus?
It was just us. So it was like an Uber or something, but I don't think we actually used Uber. It was like a car. We paid somebody to bring us. We paid exactly. We paid a car service or a taxi service or something.
Okay, cool.
So we get brought down there, and dude, I'm telling you, it was within 30 minutes. We were out there, and Jeff at the time, I don't know if he still does or whatever, but he like vapes, right? So he has like one of those little fucking things and the fucking smoke or whatever. So he's vaping, and apparently in Thailand that's illegal, right?
Vaping?
But it's one of those things that like I don't think it's illegal for any other reason than they just want to extort tourists, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't think anybody in Thailand that's vaping is getting in trouble for this. Like the police aren't harassing them. They're going to harass tourists that have money that they can take money from.
Was he like walking and vaping?
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody told him anything?
Well, this is what I'm saying. The police officer came up to him and told him that he had to go to the fucking police station because
it's just crazy that like a taxi driver or like the driver wouldn't say anything.
Well, I don't know if he was vaping in a taxi, but I'm saying when we got there, within 30 minutes of walking around, and vaping, he fucking got approached by a police officer. So, dude, I had just fought. We just got in a car and drove fucking like 3 hours. I was in no mood to deal with some bullshit. So I tell the police officer, I was like, listen, dude, I was like, I know how shit is here. I was like, whatever amount of money we got to pay. I'm like, I'm down.
What's this going to cost that big dog?
Tell me what the fucking, put the fucking money sign. I don't care. Whatever it is, just tell me and I'll give it to you. And the guy, it seemed like that is exactly how it works. But he wanted us, it was in public around a bunch of people, and he heard me saying that stuff. So he's like kind of rolling his eyes and looking at me like, we got to go to the police station first. He kept saying that because I think he didn't want to do like a money exchange in front of the public. Like he didn't want me to hand him a bunch of cash.
You had to finesse the situation.
Exactly.
You were irritated and you were fucking calling him out.
But dude, I was not about to go to a fucking Thai jail 30 minutes after I just drove 3 hours and fought somebody. So I'm like, listen, dude, like, I'm like, please, I'm like, I will pay you whatever. Just get the fuck out of our hair right now. Like, this is nonsense. It's a fucking vape. Like, he's like, man, if you don't come with me, I'm going to have to put him in handcuffs.
How was his English?
Not good. So I call somebody on the phone that can translate in Thai, and they get on the phone with the guy, and they're trying to help fucking the situation. So
who's that person that you called? Like, was it?
I can't disclose. I can't disclose my source.
Okay, but was this person in the U.S.?
No.
Okay.
So I can't disclose my source, but
nope, don't worry.
They're doing the translation and they're fucking talking to the guy. So as this is happening and the guy's on the phone, I'm telling Jeff, I'm like, hey, Jeff, listen, man. Like, I know that, like, this isn't your style. And what I'm going to suggest to you right now, because Jeff is a very conservative, like, nice, well-mannered
Chris,
kind of
he's a
quiet,
pussy. He's a
quiet
fucking
dude.
pussy.
He's not a pussy. He's not
Jeff
a pussy.
is a fucking pussy.
I'm going to tell you why he's
He
not a
fucking
pussy in a
vapes,
minute.
so I don't really have that much respect for him. So.
I'm going to tell you why he's not a pussy in a minute. I'll tell you why
You're
he's
like,
a
you
good
need to
dude.
take one for the team, Jeff.
But here's the deal. So he's a very, like, quiet, reserved kind of dude. So I tell him, I was like, listen, I know this isn't your style, but, like, this guy's distracted right now. He's on the phone with this person translating. I'm like, you're getting in trouble for vaping right now. It's not that big of an offense. It's not like you fucking killed somebody. I think if you just go run, this guy's not going to be able to catch up to you. Like, he's on, like, a little motorcycle thing. If you run down that street that's like a side, like, it has sidewalks and it doesn't really have a street, I'm pretty sure you're good. Like, and this guy is not going to find you. I'm like, just go run, hide somewhere, and we're going to be good to go.
And Gary's also like, you kind of look like these people too, so you'll be all right.
So I was like, listen,
just put some local garb on.
yeah. I was like telling him, I'm like, listen, man. I was like, I'm like, you got two options. I was like, you can do that, or we're gonna have to go to a Thai jail and we're gonna get extorted for money, and it's gonna take who knows how much time to fucking get this shit done. Those are your options, you know. I'm like,
advice.
Yeah, Jeff tells a different story. Jeff tells me that, like, that I told him that, like, I would be disappointed in him forever or something if he didn't run.
That's
something.
more your
I don't know.
style.
Maybe I did say
You're like,
that. I don't know.
listen,
I don't
you're
remember.
not coming back with me.
But anyway, I start talking and communicating with the police officer, and I grab the phone and I'm talking to now the police officer gets distracted a second time because simultaneously while he's harassing us, he's trying to harass somebody else for illegally parking their motorcycle. So he's juggling two different things at once.
Okay.
So
double commish.
Yeah. So I turn around while I'm on the phone with the person translating, and Jeff and my buddy Al Bruce are fucking gone. And I'm like,
you should have told the cop that you don't know him.
I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, they really
Officer,
did it.
Those guys that you were talking to, they left.
I'm like, they fucking ran. I couldn't believe it because Jeff, like I told you, dude, it's the last person you would ever expect to run from the fucking police, dude. It's the last thing that you would ever expect. So I'm just like, wow, they did it. So I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, don't freak out. Just act totally normal. So I go and walk into the business that's like next door on my phone while the police officer's talking to somebody else. And I sit in there for a few minutes or whatever. And eventually he's like, hey, like, where's your friend? I was like, I don't know. I don't know where he went. And he gets like all flustered and he's like, well, listen, you know, we have him on, we have his picture. And like when he goes to like try to fly out of the airport, he's going to get stopped, like his passport and stuff. And like, I didn't even tell Jeff that he said that because Jeff's like,
he would have been so fucking worried.
So yeah, I didn't do it. So yeah, then we met up with Jeff at the hotel later on, like 10 minutes we figured out like where he was or whatever.
How'd you leave?
And then at the time, I think I had some very distinct like facial haircut sort of thing. So I just shaved my face and my head bald.
Gary, how'd you get out of the situation?
What do you mean?
Well, he didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't do anything. I wasn't vaping.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could charge me for.
Accomplished to
cop,
vaping.
what is the cop going to try to say to me?
Yeah.
You going to put me in handcuffs for hanging out with somebody who's vaping?
Bring you accomplice to vaping in the street.
Yeah,
I guess.
So,
okay.
So yeah, he just fucking drove off, and that was that.
He should have probably,
and I shaved my head and everything so they couldn't recognize us.
What an idiot! He should have charged you. He should have like said like, okay, give me something. And wasn't he telling you that you
can't though? Like, what could he actually do? Because I didn't do anything wrong.
But was he threatening you as well to go to jail or no?
What?
Was he threatening you as well?
No. He was. The whole thing was about Jeff. Okay. Everything was about Jeff. It had nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
I was with Jeff.
You were negotiating with a cop.
It's not like Jeff committed a murder and I'm like an accessory to murder. Like the dude's vaping, you know. Like you can't be an accessory to that, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think I'm actually okay with this. So essentially, Thailand has like a douchebag tax for anyone who vapes in public because vaping is fucking gay.
Which like, dude, honestly, I had no problem with if he would have just let us give us some money, but like, I just wasn't willing to go through the red tape of like going to.
I don't blame you at all.
All that bullshit.
I don't blame you at all.
Dude, if it would have been like,
$2,000 to just get the fuck out of our hair.
and then you see like tourists walking around with joints, just smoking the joints, and that's
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
But when you're vaping,
Exactly.
you're a
buying
bitch and you
hookers.
get fined.
Yeah, buying hookers at 3 at a time.
Exactly.
Smoking in the streets, getting publicly drunk, pissing in the streets, all fine.
Even the fucking
like-
monkey smoke.
I'm like telling this fucking police officer, I'm like, dude, there's a girl that shoots fucking ping pong balls into a glass out of her vagina up the street, like. And,
Wait, you
and
were telling the cop
harassment
that?
for fucking vaping. What?
You told the
Yeah.
cop that?
Don't
Yeah,
be a
of
snitch.
course.
Don't snitch. Don't be a snitch on that talented woman.
No, I mean it's legal out there. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that in Thailand.
Dude,
So
you really
I'm not
got into
snitching on anything.
lawyer mode over here, calling Thailand out.
That's awesome.
So, okay. So that happened. How was the place, though? Was the place nice? That beach place?
Oh, Pattaya? It's fucking
Yeah.
beautiful, dude. It's beautiful, yeah.
What'd you guys do over there?
Although I would say that if I could pick, like in terms of like places to go, if somebody's like thinking about where they're going to travel to in Thailand, Pattaya's good. Another good one I think is not Bangkok is more of like a very busy city. I'm trying to think what's the other one. I'm being retarded right now because I was there. I'll think of it in a minute.
Phuket?
Phuket, exactly.
Yeah,
Phuket.
yeah.
Phuket
Looks
was
like-
my favorite, I think. Pattaya and Phuket were my favorite. But Bangkok is like, if you have to go, if you're going to Thailand and that's where you got to be, that's where you got to be, and it's going to be a good time.
It's like
But
every,
I personally
every
think
major
Phuket
city.
and I think Phuket and Pattaya are better, like in terms of like hanging out as a tourist,
What?
especially if you like women,
Okay. So what was the main difference between
or
both
especially if you like lady women.
ladyboys?
Or,
I was gonna say, I mean, Ladyboy's probably
Yeah.
has a better place to go for that.
What? So what's the difference? What's the main difference between both places?
what?
Pattaya and
So
Phuket.
so Pattaya and
Or Phuket.
Phuket. It's hard to say. I think Pattaya is a little bit less busy than Phuket. Phuket's a little bit busier. There's a little bit more people there. That's what I would say.
So it has more of a.
And Pattaya's a little bit more
touristy
beachy.
life, nightlife.
Pattaya's a little bit more beachy, like
Okay.
kind of
It's
like
more
hanging out
relaxed,
with
and then the other one has like more action.
Yeah.
Cool.
I feel like Frank is like on
I'm
book,
Listen, man.
he's like booking his flights right now. Like he's like on his
I'm
computer
ready
right
for
behind us.
this.
Like
If you guys want to go to Thailand and it's open, and after my next fight, let's go.
that would be a good guys trip.
That's amazing. An
We
amazing.
would
guy
we would
there.
we would have
Let's do it.
podcast like topics for six months to a year.
We got to
From
do
that
it just for the
vacation.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yes.
literally. That's
Just
a
for
work trip.
content.
That's
Business
a
trip.
guys. That's a write
We
off.
can write that off. We can write that
100%
off.
a write-off.
Taxes.
Tell
You
our
guys-
wives like, hey babe, guys, we gotta. This is for our future. Trust me.
Did you?
Gary, I mean, Frank and we all had to bang ladyboys. It was for the podcast. Yeah.
part of.
Oh
the-
wait, have you guys ever seen? There's some content out there. Somebody recorded a dude's Snapchat. It's this Irish guy. Okay, he bangs a ladyboy in Thailand. Okay, and he's recording it all on Snapchat, like sending it to his friends, I guess, thinking to himself like, oh man, it's on Snapchat, like nobody else is gonna see it but my friends, and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
his
yeah.
friends
I think you
recorded
told-
it, and it's
you
out
told
there.
us the story, and it went like viral, right?
Oh, dude, it was so crazy. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta look this
All right,
up.
I already told the story on the podcast. I don't want to retell something.
So wait, this is a technical question here about
Yeah.
ladyboys. So if you're banging a ladyboy, you're banging a guy's ass, right? Like it's.
Oh yeah,
like,
like he was
they
100%
don't-
banging
like
a
they're
dude.
they're dudes. Like
It's a dude. It's just a dude that looks like a woman. Yes.
got it. Okay.
It's a dude that looks like a woman that has a penis.
Which apparently that's a thing now. So
you're-
like,
you would
that's like way more regular than. we
So
would-
it's
Yeah.
not like you would be
I mean,
full
for
gay,
you,
but kind of
for
like
you to
50%
even think there's
gay.
anything weird about it is actually
yeah, we should get
it's not cool, man. Like that's not right for you.
You're not
Imagine-
100% gay if you like.
We're gonna
bang
get
a
canceled.
ladyboy.
We're gonna get canceled again after
Imagine
this
if we get canceled on
conversation.
this. Like this is like so benign from all the other shit we've said.
Well, this is actually a good question that Chris poses. It was. Do you
don't
guys
know,
not think about that?
You don't know. I mean, I was just thinking about it now. I was like, so is he saying this guy's banging a ladyboy? I'm like, so what is he banging? These guys
Yeah.
are banging.
Well, I mean, there's obviously some that are post-op that like have actually had an operation done to like get the shit changed, but
I wonder what the distinction is from a ladyboy who is pre and post op. If there is, like a term for that.
Yeah, it's just pre and post op. I think that's what they use. I don't
No,
think
if there's like some kind of like in the know.
Yo,
Oh.
what about that
Yeah.
that ladyboy that I sent you guys?
I still don't know if that was ladyboy. I didn't
That's
get
fucked
confirmation.
up, huh? That's fucked up.
That lady was very sexy.
Fucking hot as shit.
You're like, would you bang this? I was like, yep. You're like, it's a ladyboy. Really? Shit.
I gotta tell you guys that like in a lot of the countries that I've been to in Asia, the most attractive women are men.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it is.
Have you ever made a mistake?
I mean, no. But-
Gary's like, I wouldn't.
He hesitated. Garry was thinking, should I do it? Should I do it? No.
I haven't, but you know, I think I've mentioned this to you guys before. The thing that demarcates it the most for me, that allows me to tell the difference between the two, because a lot of people talk about different features. They'll talk about hands. They'll talk about tone of voice, blah 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 blah. For me, the biggest tell for me is sexual aggression. Like men have a sexual aggression to them that women do not have. Even prostitutes, even strippers, there is a certain level of sexual aggression that men have that like when you walk by one of these lady boys or whatever it is, like dude, like they're very sexually
they're like grabbing your dick.
much more so than
prostitutes.
Other prostitutes or whatever the case may be that you're gonna walk by that are women.
That's a really good point. That's
Dude,
100% right.
How aggressive
So
do they
obvious.
get? Because
Literally, they'll grab your dick.
the fucking
they grab
prostitutes
they
over here
grab
your
you,
dick.
they pull it. Come on, like it's very aggressive.
Yeah.
I had a friend with me once in Singapore that was like, he was like, man, I don't know how much more I can take of like people touching me and shit. Like I don't, this isn't right. You know.
Was that Jeff again?
No, that was a different friend who I can't disclose.
Well, we'll put it in the show notes, guys. Everyone listening at home, don't worry.
Name and IG handle.
That'll be our Patreon is gonna be that, just like giving up like stitching.
Oh,
everybody
I forgot to tell you how I know that Jeff's not a pussy. So one time I was fucking with Jeff. This is one of the reasons I know Jeff is like a really loyal motherfucker. So I was with a chick at a bar in LA. It was like a rodeo fucking thing. Like they had like a mechanical bull, right? And side note, I fucking rode this mechanical bull like a fucking champion and won a American fucking cowboy hat.
Damn,
that's a good prize.
Because I can ride cows all fucking day. So something I'm very experienced with.
A lot of experience with
So
riding cattle.
riding bovines. That's the bar that we went to.
Yeah. So anyway,
we did go to that.
Jeff was at like some very important business meeting thing with some dude, like not a business meeting, but it was like a business party kind of thing, like whatever. While I was hanging out with this chick, and Jeff asks me how I'm doing, and I had a cut like on my knuckles.
From riding the bull?
Might have been from that. I don't know. But so I send him a picture of the cut on my knuckles, which was actually bleeding at the time. And I was like, hey, man, I got into a fight with some guy. He was talking to the girl that I was with. And, I'm okay, but they had to call an ambulance for the other guy and this, that, and the other thing. And I made up some story, right? And I thought that Jeff would know for sure that I was fucking with him. So I didn't even check on it. Like, I just sent that text and just let it die, right? And I'm just hanging out and I'm having a good time.
You're such an asshole.
So, dude, like an hour later, I'm getting like calls from Jeff. He's like, where are you? Where are you? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm here. I'm like, what do you mean you're here? He's like, you got into a fight. Like, I had to come as soon as you said that. I was like, no, dude, I was just kidding.
That's awesome.
What an asshole.
So he had come all the way to the bar. It was like 45 minutes away from where he was at, like,
party
to be there for me. So I know that motherfucker is like a good dude, man.
Yeah. That's not what was in question, though.
No.
Right, Chris?
Yeah, no. That's not
Well, he came. Well. Listen, two things.
He's an awesome friend. That's not.
He ran for the police. He heard that I got into a fight and fucking showed up. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's not.
No, he's a good dude. He's loyal.
He's
but
loyal.
He definitely vapes. So for me, that's just it. Really.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What's that
you
saying?
guys-
Build 1,000 bridges. You're a bridge builder. Suck one dick. You're a cocksucker.
Oh
That's
man,
That's amazing.
that's brutal. That's
You're
so
a
brutal.
cocksucker for life.
You guys suck. Oh my god.
Shit.
You guys do anything cool this weekend?
I flew to Vegas on 2 hours notice. I got called. I got a
What-
text at 4 p.m. on Friday from Top Rank Boxing. They're like, "Hey, our announcer pulled out like last second. Like, any chance you want to fly to Vegas tonight?" And I was like, he said like this big long thing, and I was just like, "Yep." That was what I put. "Yep." Period. And he's like, "All right." So he texted me at 4 p.m. I was on a plane at 7.
Did they like up your pay?
I told them I need anxiety tax because I'm going to rush and change all my plans. So they're like, yeah, whatever, just tack it on the invoice. I was like, all right.
You need anxiety what?
I said anxiety tax.
That's a good way to put
Yeah,
it.
baby.
Dude, I was like rushing to the airport, and it's like I like that. I actually like being late to the airport, so like gets my fucking heart going. And I like to fly.
Like, you
and
like
whatever.
just
Same, man.
just
I can't
making it.
pack until like an hour to an hour and a half before I leave. I need the rush.
We're fighters. It's different. Like I want to arrive at the airport when the plane is boarding.
Just
Like,
like
when I travel with people, they're like, "Oh my, what are you doing? We're missing this flight." I'm like, "We're fine. Don't worry. We're fine. Trust me."
just like your pullout game.
Yeah.
You barely make it.
Second.
That's right.
Second.
I mean, man, fucking gotta risk it. What's the point?
So I spent the weekend in
Nobody's gonna remember your name otherwise.
That's right.
What,
That is why no one will remember your name. Because you get to the airport 2 hours before your flight. You will not be remembered.
what fight, Chris?
It was ESPN. It was the first fight, first boxing match of the year of 2021. Richard Comey, dude, brutally knocked out this undefeated kid.
Do you have to study notes on the plane?
Yeah. Luckily, I had called. I only had 3 fights to call, and I had called 5 of the 6 guys who were fighting before, like multiple times.
Okay, so you knew
I knew a lot about them. And the main event I spar with all the time. It's Richard Comey from Ghana. He's one of my sparring partners in Brooklyn. So it was really not that much work.
And who was the guy that you replaced?
Terrence Crawford's trainer, Bomac.
Okay.
He was supposed to work the show. He missed his flight, and then they called me, and I took a flight like immediately.
Ah, shit. So how come they didn't just rebook his flight?
He I don't know if he wasn't willing to, or he couldn't, or whatever. I didn't ask questions.
Yeah, don't ask.
Literally,
Sure,
my answer was yup, period.
Yep.
Let's go.
So what'd you do?
Text my train coach. I was like, hey, can't come in tonight. I'm taking this ESPN job tomorrow. He's like, okay. So, see you on Monday.
Did you do anything over there, or was it just like a quick
Well, I had to
24-hour?
quarantine. Like as soon as I got there, I had the test and then wait for the results. And I was quarantined in my room for a while, and then did the show. Afterwards, I went out a little bit, but I mean, Vegas is actually pretty open. It was pretty like parts of the casino. I was really not very comfortable. Like
Just full of people?
willy-nilly, people drunk all over the place, no mask.
No mask?
Mask, no mask, whatever. They didn't get
Fuck it. Love it.
Fucking Vegas.
God bless.
It's making a comeback.
Yeah, I took the red eye last night to land this morning. I'm fucking shot right now.
What about you, Gary?
Oh, dude. So, weekend we just kind of like watched the fights or whatever. But the week that I had was pretty good. So I had spending some time with a female friend of mine. Okay. So here's a topic of conversation. So how much do you think someone on the low end, like in terms of like somebody that doesn't really like put that much effort into it, how much do you think somebody makes on OnlyFans as a woman?
Oh,
It depends how many followers.
No. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm not trying to name this person or anything like that. But like, how much do you think? Like,
I know people who pull in $20,000 a month. Like,
yeah.
like retarded numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
think
let me ask you
20
this
grand a
question.
month.
Let me ask you this: the $20,000 a month people that you know,
Shit.
when you heard that number, what were you thinking? Like,
Holy
based off
fuck!
who they
I need to start an OnlyFans.
Yes.
That was the first thing I thought. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What?
dude, it is incredibly more lucrative than I had first thought.
Yeah.
You know, Like and that's like, again, like I'm saying, the reason I say it's on the low end is like the person that I was talking to, they're like, yeah, I try to get like $1,000 a day. Like I fucking like,
Wait,
they made
what?
it sound like
Like it's nothing.
it's not really a significant amount of effort required for them to make $1,000 a day doing the OnlyFans. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, so I worked my ass off.
You're buying dinner.
Let me take the calculator out. Because most of these subscriptions are like $15 a month, right?
It depends. And you can set it for whatever you want.
So, dude, that's like, so for you to be pulling in $1,000 a month, that's like 66 subscribers per day.
No. I think you misheard me. I said $1,000 a day.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Okay,
Yeah,
so I meant
that number-
66 subscribers per day. So that's a
That's a
lot.
good amount.
Well, okay, so I don't know if you
That's,
you know
that's
how it
like
works.
2,000.
Do you know how it works? Because I just recently learned how it all works.
Yeah, I think there's like a couple of tiers that you can unlock. But usually, like the average pay for like a monthly subscription is like $15 to $20.
Sure, but there's more to it than that. So there's a subscription, and then there's like, hey, like anybody can DM you and like ask for something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like
then
VIP.
you get extra money off the top of that. So like, somebody could be like, hey, spread your ass open. I want to see your asshole. And
So how hot is this chick from like 1 to 10?
What's that?
How hot is she from 1 to 10?
Well, in case she's watching the podcast, a 10.
Okay, so.
Yeah, but Frank, it doesn't matter. You're asking that like it matters. Like guys are fucking savages.
I thought that the hotter the chick was, the more money she gets.
No, because I've met a lot of really hot Instagram chicks, and they're not that fucking hot in person at all. At all. You know, like
well, she has to be Instagram hot.
Raises an interesting point. There's a lot you can do with angles, fucking Photoshop, all these different things to make these.
I've met booty girls that I was like, what is that? That you're a twig. Like, how are you a booty girl on Instagram and you literally have no ass at all? Like, flat as could be.
Yeah, it's interesting. You never really know until you meet somebody for sure.
Yeah.
Every so often you'll get lucky and like the person will look even better than they do in social media, but it's very rare. Does
that person have like a professional photographer?
A lot of them do.
Who?
The OnlyFans chick.
The person that I was talking to?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of, but it's very possible.
I mean, if you're pulling in that amount of money, you might as well.
The way that she made it sound like she doesn't put that much effort in. So I'm going to say no, but it's possible.
Yeah, but how wild is it, like the difference in males and females? Like, we can't do that.
No.
Like, there's no market for that. Women are not.
For yourself.
Women are not, dude.
Gary has an OnlyFans.
Women are not exactly like you said, the point of the hookers and the ladyboys, and like the drive is just so different. Like, there's going to be some women who are going to be like, Gary, I will pay you for you to spread your asshole. But like, there's not going to be 66 subscribers a day. Like this girl who's barely trying.
It's a different market for sure. I doubt that the level is going to be as high. It's not going to be the same for sure.
We should definitely have a flesh wound.
Let's do it. Let's put out a fucking calendar.
Yeah. We'll dress up in very scantily clothed and different.
I have a Borat mankini. I could do that.
That's so funny. So I shop at this company, Aussie Bum. It's like a Australian bathing suit company that makes like really like short shorts, which was why I wear my shorts. And at a certain money point, like $50 or whatever, they send you something free. So they send you underwear, whatever. And this last time they sent me this bright green Speedo. And I started wearing it as a joke. I'm literally only wearing that now. Like, it's such a different thing.
That's amazing. Dude,
wait, you wear that to the beach?
I wear that around my complex. Dude, like the old lady.
Yeah, baby.
I am a superstar in my complex.
Dude,
well, you are
your hog's a superstar in your complex.
You are a fucking little peacock over there.
So, dude, I was at the beach in where I live is in Dorado is like 30 minutes from San Juan, right? So it's a pretty decent distance away from the city. So the other day, a buddy of mine came down, and he was staying at a hotel in San Juan. That's where most people stay when they come down, right? That's pretty close to like where we're training too. So I was like talking to him about some shit, and he's like, "Oh, let's just go like fucking, let's go by the beach, while we have whatever fucking conversation that we're gonna have." So we start fucking, we ate at a hamburger place. We start walking down the beach, and as we're walking down the beach, we come to a point in the beach where, let me try to figure out how I'm gonna put this verbally.
I like anything that starts off like that.
It was a very flamboyant section of the beach. Like, if I could describe to you the first few things that I saw, it was a lot of fucking Speedos, and then there was a dude, and I'm telling you, there's no music. Like, there was no music to be played.
Did you see any
and
signs?
It wasn't a rainbow flag. It was just a flag. I'm not sure what flag. He was just dancing with a flag just in the wind. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, man, I'm like, what a great time this dude is having. He's just skipping and dancing. And then there's like another dude. Now there was this type of bathing suit, and it might be similar to what Chris is describing. So the front of the bathing suit hugs your cock, right? Yeah. So it looks like a Speedo from the front. But the back end of the bathing suit is kind of like shorts. So it looks like it's like kind of like hugs your cheeks like shorts.
It's a hybrid.
Then the front end of the bathing suit is like a Speedo. So it comes into a V in the front, but it's shorts in the back.
Wow.
And like a bunch of dudes in that particularly flamboyant section of the beach.
So it's the opposite of a mullet.
I almost sat there for a second, and I was like, I think I could rock that bathing suit attire.
It's the opposite of a mullet. It's party in the front, and then business in the back.
The front, business in the back. Exactly.
Dude, I've never heard of that. That's interesting.
I haven't either. I can't even picture it in my mind. I gotta look that up.
I think it might be. I could be wrong. It might be what a Brazilian sunga. I could be wrong. I'm going to look this up on my phone real quick.
So what are you doing in the gay section of the beach?
Like I said, we were fucking talking about, it's the dude that runs Skilled Violence that I'm fucking repping right now. So we were just having like fucking business conversation shit.
I like that name, Skilled Violence.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
I tell people all the time, just like, I am a violent person. They're like,
wait,
really?
He went to go visit you, Garry?
He's a friend of mine, yeah.
Gotcha.
He does jiu-jitsu and shit, so.
Is he in Puerto Rico now?
Yeah, I think, it's not quite a sunga, because it's not quite, from what I see with the sunga, it looks like it's not quite shorts in the back. It's close though. It's close to what I'm talking about.
You have to send that to the chat.
Garry, so did your female friend leave?
Yeah. She just spent a few days or whatever the case may be, but it was cool, man.
She's got that OF money. She could fly in and out like no problem. She can go to Canada. She's so rich she can go to Canada.
I mean, I'm happy. It was interesting because she was asking me, she's like, oh, like, how do you feel about me having like an OnlyFans and stuff like that? And I was like, well, listen, like, I mean, whether like I'm romantically or sexually involved with somebody that has an OnlyFans, like on a personal level, like to me, it doesn't bother me. If anything, it makes me feel like, oh, wait, there's a bunch of other people out here who like also think that the person that I'm attracted to is attractive. So there's like something. It's almost like how a woman would look at a man who's in power. It's like, okay, like other people respect this man, so I am attracted to that man because of that, right? So very similar to like how like other people are attracted to this woman, like it makes me more. So if anything, like to me, like a woman having an OnlyFans is like more. There's something to it that's like sexy about that. And then like on a more open note, just about sex work in general, like to me, I feel like we develop all these crazy taboos about sex and sex work that make our society like worse off overall as a whole. Like the fact that we look at that in like a shitty way, whether it's stripping, whether it's, posting nude photos, whether it's running an OnlyFans account, whether it's prostitution, whatever it is. I honestly think that because we look at that, many of us look at that in a negative light, it does our society a disservice. The fact that we censor nudity and shit on television, like it makes sex and nudity weird, and it's a very natural thing. Like, would we make eating weird? Would we make sleeping weird? All these other things that are very natural and a part of life. Why is sex the thing that we choose to make like a very weird
Yeah, and
I
that's
don't
that's
understand.
relatively
Like-
a recent thing.
like
That
we all do
desexualization.
it. We all do it.
Yeah.
It's all a need. Like every single one of us like have that as a desire and a need within ourselves. Why do we paint the picture that somebody that's engaged in that type of work is somehow lesser than or somehow weird or whatever the case? I just like to, in my mind, I think it's most healthy to like look at that as like any other job, you know?
Would you would you date someone in the sex working field?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd have no problem with that. I will say this though, if I dated somebody who was actively doing if I dated somebody who's
porn.
actively sleeping with other people, as far as their business is concerned, like so OnlyFans is one thing. Like technically, you can take OnlyFans as far as you want. Like you could do
Right.
actual porn on OnlyFans, right?
Mhm.
Where you're sleeping with people and you're videotaping it and you're selling that, right?
Right.
So if I was going to be in a relationship with somebody who's doing that, I'm down for that, but under the conditions that if they're sleeping with other people, I'm also allowed to do that. Like whether it's their job or not, like it's just not fair. I don't think personally.
I feel like I don't think that would really be an issue.
I don't think it would be an issue either. I'm just saying I'm not down for having a monogamous relationship with a woman who's doing pornography. That's not fair. But as far as the rest of it's concerned, I'm down to have a relationship with somebody who's doing pornography. No worries.
Have you ever been in love, Garry?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if you think of that person who you were in love with, would you ever picture her like banging another man while she came home to you?
I see. I know where
Like
you're going.
would that ever
rephrase that question, because
would
the
that
way
ever-
that you just worded it wasn't very good, I don't think.
Okay, let me try to reword it. Would you have a problem with someone that you
now
care
you're
for or love having sexual relationships with other people?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't care?
But
don't think?
caveat,
Mm-hmm.
to be fair, I haven't experienced that yet. Like I
Right.
haven't been in a serious relationship with somebody who also wanted that. So
Okay.
it's hard for me to tell you for sure that I'd be okay with it because I haven't experienced it yet. But I'll say that objectively, I think I'd be okay with it based off of like kind of like how I've lived my life and how I feel and all these things. I think I'd be okay with it, but who knows? Maybe if I was in love with somebody, I wouldn't want that. But so far, all of my experiences, I've felt like that would be fine for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucked up. I have no idea. But to me, it doesn't feel weird.
Not me. I don't want my wife or my daughter to be a sex worker.
See, I'm with Chris.
Like my
here.
girl, like whatever. If it's like some girl, like you have some girl
Sure.
come over this weekend, sure, whatever.
Sure.
You can do what the fuck you want. You could blow 10 guys on a Friday. I don't give a fuck as long as like that's your thing.
Yeah.
You're coming
I
up
get
hang out. But
I get
like
it.
my lady, my wife.
Yeah.
And then I thought like when Frank asked you originally about that girl doing that, like you have a problem with it. I was like, no. I'm like, for me, I was like, it's not my wife and it's not my daughter. I don't care what you do.
Sure.
But
I'm not saying
pretty traditional.
I'm not saying that I think that like everybody should be okay with that for their significant other or their wife. I'm just saying like how I feel. That's
I
it.
was just curious to know your thoughts on it.
I think I could do it, but again, it's like, hey, let's see. Until I really go through that, I don't think it's fair for me to say, yeah, I'm okay with it. It's so few and far between women that you meet that is something that they're actually interested in and actually interested in participating in, that it's really hard to say one way or another, like whether or not that would actually work for me.
Yeah. I was
It's
just
a tough
curious
thing.
because you're kind of like a savage, but I know that you're like a caring and
Sure.
loving person and sensitive as well. So it was just like it's just curious.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, I would love to do it as an experiment. Like, it's definitely something
No.
I'm looking forward to. Like,
Don't do it as an experiment just to
Why
test
not?
yourself.
Why not, though? No, it's not about testing myself. It's about finding what, dude. Life is a fucking experiment. Like, if you're not doing experiments with yourself on a day-to-day basis, like you're fucking up, in my opinion.
What type of experiments? What are you doing?
What I'm saying is like, hey, man, if I've tried monogamy and that's a thing that like I've experienced and like, hey, I like parts about it, I don't like parts about it, whatever the case may be. I would love to experience what it would be like to be in in a polyamorous relationship, for example.
Can I document it?
What?
Can I document it?
Yeah, of course.
Your swingers
the sex
party?
or the
Gary,
conversations involved afterwards.
Frank, this is going to document it. This is what we do here.
Yeah.
Like, all the weird shit any of us
I'm
do
just
gets
saying,
documented.
I would love to experience it because I think that it's an experience to be had. It's like, hey man, like this is what everybody does. Everybody does monogamy, or for the most part, everybody does monogamy or they're single, right? So like, I would love to see what it's like doing something a little different than the way that the rest of the world does it.
Would you be down for swinging?
What do you mean by that? You have to be more specific.
Like what swingers do, where they swap wives and stuff, or not wives, but girls.
So okay,
and you
so
make love
set very specific conditions.
Frank,
for
like
me,
that thing you and I did that one time when we were in.
Set very specific conditions for me, and I can answer the question.
Well, I mean, I guess the
make up a scenario in your head, and then I'll answer it for you.
Okay. So you go to a house party with, let's say, 3 couples, and then all 3 of you swap.
Now hold on. Who is this person to me? Is they're my wife? They're my girlfriend?
Just a girlfriend.
It's a girlfriend. So someone I'm in a monogamous relationship, or well, I guess it's not monogamous at this point. It's polyamorous.
No, so let's say that you're like a month or 2 months in.
So at that time, you're monogamous.
She goes, hey, how do you feel about swinging?
Oh,
and she goes,
I would do it.
Be down to try it?
And then, but she says that at the door when you're walking into the party, and that's when she lets you know this is a swingers party. How do you feel about swinging? And then you're
I would definitely be like, wow, that's
I just learned a lot about you very quickly.
but yeah, man, I would definitely be down to try the experience. I'm not guaranteeing you that I would be into it. I don't know. Maybe there would be, because there's a few things that would have to happen, right? Like number one, like I'd have to for this experiment to truly be valid, I'd have to truly be in love with the person. Like I'd have to actually really care about this person for this to be a valid experiment. And the second thing that would have to be valid is the person would have to be interested in engaging in that type of activity. And that's hard. Like both of those two things to exist at once is difficult, right? Yeah. Like, I'm going to have to, not on top of falling in love with somebody, they're also going to have to want to engage in polyamorous behavior. And that's just few and far between. It's just hard to find women like that.
So while
men that would be interested in that, but not a lot.
While you might think that this is a casual conversation, Chris and I are actually planning a reality show for you, and this is we're just testing the threshold for the script.
I mean, dude, the funny thing is, I was actually thinking about doing it. So there was a chick that I was talking to that was talking about, she was talking about, oh yeah, I'm open to the idea of like a polyamorous relationship, or she said something like, monogamy is not the only way to do it, or whatever. And, when she said that, it piqued my interest. I was like, oh, maybe this is a person that I could try this thing with, right? However, I just got out of a really serious relationship. I don't think it's smart, no matter what type of relationship I get involved in. I think that for some period of time, I don't like the idea, because I think your brain gets conditioned to like whatever you're dealing with at the time. So like I was in a monogamous, serious relationship where I love the person, right? I think your brain attaches itself to that experience and goes, ooh, I like this. I like parts of this. Okay. And then when you meet another person, you start to try to create that same thing with that next person. So the last thing I want to do is go from one relationship to the next. And I just think whether it's polyamorous or not, I don't think it's a good idea. So I got to give myself some time. But I met this person that said that, and I was like, ooh, I was like, table that. But like, yeah, that's something I might be interested.
Well, Frank has been looking up swinger parties in your area, so we're gonna make a little boys trip. It's gonna be that scenario he's talking about. It's actually the 3 of us. That's why he said three couples. We're all gonna go there.
We're bringing the scenario to you.
I'm in, dude. I am in 1,000%. Let's go. Let's fucking have some fun.
I feel like at least 2 out of the 3 of us have girls who would be willing to do this. We might be able to bring up a little slack with Frankie boy over there.
See, I feel like every podcast we make, we bond a little more, and we find some stuff about each other.
That's it, baby.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. It's the circle of trust.
We're sharing life experiences and we're planning new ones. So.
All right. On that note, guys.
Yeah.
Beautiful talk. Beautiful
I
podcast.
move
Deuces.
Love you
Peace
all.
out,
for no
mofos.
man, no man, no man, no
All right.
man, no
We'll call it a draw.
no man.
Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh